Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. QNH 1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven Information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven Information Charlie. 1300, runway 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees, 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 2.9. 2.9. QNH1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven information Charlie on first contact. Eindhoven information Charlie. 1300. Runway 21. For arrivals and departures. Transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees. 9 knots. Variable between 160 and 300 degrees. Visibility 10 kilometers. Overcast 20,000 feet. Temperature 19. 2.9. QNH1022. No significant change. Confirm Eindhoven information Charlie on first contact.
Oh, very good everybody, and welcome back to another video. This is your personal funky sim pilot. My name is Arkady Gidzenko and I will be your captain for today's flight. I've been away for a couple of days, but today we're back and decided to actually do a flight, real-world flight on the VATSIM network. And as usual, I'm doing something a little bit out of my ordinary whenever I do something spontaneous, which is like the Airbus A320 by Fenix simulations. We'll be flying this sucker on VATSIM network, so we'll be flying live on the VATSIM network. You can follow the flights in the link that's put in the chat in case you want to see where we are on the map and all that stuff, you know what I mean. So we're parked here at Sierra 9 at Eindhoven Airport. We'll be using real-world time and real-world weather. We have GFX and the Airsoft Simple Traffic tool. And we're also using the Wizz Air livery for a Wizz Air flight from Eindhoven to Belgrade, Serbia. Looking at an en route time of about 2 hours or something. There is ATC at the moment here in Eindhoven. There is also at the moment there is also ATC in Belgrade. We'll see once we get there if everything, if all the stages are still operated. But for now, let's head on into the aircraft. So I did start up the external power and started up the plane a little bit so that we could listen to the ATIS information. Let me do a quick sound check on that real fast.
Confirm Eindhoven information Charlie
Alright,
on
so
first
that is
contact.
working. So let's
Eindhoven information Charlie.
swap this over to ATIS to Unicom for now. So this message we can ignore. This is always happening in the Fenix Airbus. It's nothing to worry about. But here we are. So let's see. It's always a little bit intimidating because I do not always fly in that. And usually I've been quite comfortable flying all the Boeing 737 and 777 and everything. And the Airbus used to be actually my first aircraft that I really got into deeply. But at the moment it feels a little bit slightly unfamiliar, but I guess we'll make do. What do you think? So let's have a look. So starting up, we got the batteries running, we got the external power is available and it's on. We have the crew oxygen supply and the ground control, and then the ADRS aligning as well. I think actually now they are aligned. We got some overhead lighting going on too. That pretty much leaves us with setting up the rest of the aircraft now. Let's get this little thing out of the way. I always like to have a little bit of lights going on. So let's do that. And then at some point we'll just contact ATC and request our clearance to Belgrade. So our route Eindhoven to Belgrade. Let's see. I've been getting quite spoiled flying the PMDG 737 and 777. Getting really quite used to them. So bear with me a little bit if I seem a little bit like a newbie. That's all in good fun. Just let's have some fun and let's try not to disrupt the experience of other players on the network. so AOC menu, flight init. So here we can request our flight plan. So we created a flight plan on Simbrief. That should be downloaded any moment now. There you have our flight number with 812, departing from Eindhoven. Destination is, will be Belgrade. En route, estimated time en route 1 hour 44 minutes. And we'll also go to the init A page to request the flight plan here as well. In the meantime, let's listen in with the next station. That will be ground. That ground is on 121.930. So let's first swap this over, 121.930.
Way 21. For arrivals and departures, transition level 40. Wind 240 degrees. 9 knots.
Alright, so we're tuning in now to the to Eindhoven ground, 121.930. Let me just quickly double check. 121.930, there you go. Right, so our flight number with 812. So for the OFB, let's have a look where this is hidden. Pilot brief. So we have our OFB right here. Cost index 12, cruising altitude 370. And the planned fuel will take 7.5 kilograms, 7.5 thousand kilograms of fuel, and 2.6 thousand final reserves plus alternates. So the aircraft wants to know the cruising altitude 370 and cost index 12. So cost index will be 12, cruising altitude 370. We'll just enter these numbers. And wind, I believe we can do a wind request, so why not just do that. So we've got our climb winds in here. And we have our descent winds. So let's return. So for the flight plan, we do have the flight plan. We are probably going to get the VELNI 4 kilo departure. Let's have a look here in the OFB. Routing and impact. So that will be the VELNI 4 kilo departure out of runway 21, arriving with the RIGMU 2 Alpha for runway 12 right. So for now, I guess we just put in these numbers and then we request them later. If we want to do this, we click just on Eindhoven, we click departure and our runway. Always do the runway first, so that is the set, if you know what I mean. And then look for the VELNI 4 kilo. That will be insert, and once we agree, that should be, actually it's already in. And we'll do the same at our destination. So we go arrival. That will be ILS 12 right. And let me quickly check now what was the RIGMU 2 Alpha. Insert, and that is there. Wind data uplink, we can clear that. GPS primary, okay. So we should have the entire flight plan in here now. We can go to the plan page and see if that makes any kind of sense to us. As we go through, let's see if we can get the camera angle a little bit better. This is our departure, and then this is onwards. And then there is like an RNAV arrival. So it looks like RNAV arrival, or approach rather, and then we have the ILS there. Okay. Let me just double check here. ILS 12 right. So that's ILS for 12 right. Okay, cool. to secondary. For now, we will just copy the active. We don't have to do anything else. Well, the init B page. This is going to be interesting here in the Fenix. I guess we'll just start our boarding.
Boarding requested.
Attach pushback tug now. No.
Do you want to board crew?
I would love to board the crew.
Crew bus is coming.
And by the way, we are using a custom scenery for the Eindhoven airport, and we will also be using a custom scenery for the Belgrade airport. So hopefully it's going to look a little bit more like a real deal, you know. So we're waiting for your action to open forward cargo, and that should be on this side. So again, it is not always doing it on its own, this GSX, so I guess we'll have to do this this time. I guess today they're not beeping at us for no reason. So we go Phoenix, ground services, door,
Pilot's boarding starting.
forward cargo. And the door appears to be opening. So far so good.
Crew boarding starting.
So there's the crew boarding. Pretty much that will be us. Now what they would like us to open the aft cargo. Well, we could have done that immediately. Not sure if we'll be using the bulk. So now when it comes to mass and balance, let's have a look. I believe we can do load aircraft. G6, let's do G6 boarding only, so that at least the fuel will be done immediately. Load fuel instantly, yes please. So the fuel is loaded instantly. So, what is this saying? Oh, nothing. So planned fuel, 7.5, and in tank 7.5. So we are fully fueled. So that's a good place to be in.
Your passenger's bus is coming.
You know, basically the passengers will start boarding and taking their time. So we'll have some time to set everything up. Now, what I would like to do, something I want to get into, a habit that I want to get into when flying on the line, is to just go over all the waypoints and pronounce them at least once. So, you know, once ATC will say, hey, you can go direct VELNI, you can go direct TUVTI, or whatever, we'll not look like idiots, but at least a little less than usual. My apologies. So, flight plan. So, Echo Hotel 21, 558, 562. I'm not expecting anything there. You got the TUVTI, VELNI,
Passengers boarding.
SUMOP, Aircom, LUSIX, XAMOD, TUVTI, GMH VOR, TESGA, OSBIT, BOREP, ENITA, ETVIS, BUDEX, SASAL, BABIT. Got RIGMU finally. And then Belgrade 116, 115, this is the RNAV arrival. That's India Alpha, 113. These I'm not too concerned about, they're done. And flight plan discontinuity, we'll have a look at that once we are airborne. See what we need to do to make things set up correctly. If we, for instance, now go to our plan page, should see probably some discontinuity between DEVDA and Lambda. And there's a slide there, so we should actually just be able to hook those up. But we'll do this later, once we are actually airborne and everything. So the beginning looks fine, so yeah. So the init B page. And I believe the zero fuel weight and everything we cannot fetch through here like we can in the PMDG aircraft. to 0 fuel weight 46.7. And I'm never sure the 0 fuel weight center of gravity, which one we need to take. Let's try 31.7. I don't think it matters all that much. I mean, at least not for us, for our flight. So let's do that. So the block fuel, we have the fuel on board, 7.4. Oops. So 7.4. Actually, there was a button, fuel planning. I don't think I really click that very often. Maybe we could have actually done that. So have a look outside, see if the passengers are loading. There they are. So that's looking pretty cool. Now inside, I would like to see if the passengers are actually visible. There you go. Hello, ma'am. And they're not sitting down, are they?
Your seatbelt can now be fastened, ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Now there is a small chance, if we open the door, that we will actually see the passengers, but I'm not too sure. Yes, look at that. And now we can see them actually see it. So let's keep the door open. That's pretty cute. Right, so we do not really have checklists here, so we're just going to do this pretty much off the top of our heads. External constraints on both sides. Initial altitude will be 4,000, probably 6,000 feet. Let's wait with this. We'll put it at 4,000 for now, which is the transition altitude. Now, before we contact ATC, I guess it's a good idea to check the ATC information one more time. I must say I feel a little bit funny because as I said, it's been a while since I've flown this aircraft. Usually I fly this aircraft like so many times in a row, like I did with the PMDGs. So predictive wind shear, we can turn that on. I don't know in the Netherlands why the crew are speaking German to the passengers, but I guess worse things have happened. Good day, man. Hope you're doing well.
Nachmittag.
So it looks like we got only 101 passengers, so that would mean that the boarding pretty much completed. The baggage handlers are finished as well. So let's get back to the flight deck. There you go, boarding completed. That's pretty cool. Here's the flight control message. We can simply ignore. So before we contact ground, let's have a look at the latest weather information. It looks like there's nothing, so maybe Eindhoven is no longer online, I don't know. 126.030. Ground 121.930, and after that we'll just write it down, I guess. So I do not hear the ATIS for some reason. I don't know why that is. 126.030. Aircraft loaded. Okay. One two six point 030. Not hitting it, so let's see if we can contact the ground. So we have the information Charlie, and let's see the QNH. We're parked at stand Sierra 9. Eindhoven ground with 812. We are parked at Sierra 9er Airbus A320. We have information Charlie requesting IFR clearance to Belgrade.
Vizier 812 Eindhoven ground. Good afternoon. Information Delta is current. Clear to your destination. VELNI 4 kilo departure. Runway 21. Initial climb fly level 60. Squawk 2760.
Squawking 2760, clear for the VELNI 4 kilo departure. Information Delta, we will check that momentarily. Out of runway 21, initial altitude 60 with 812.
This 812, read back correct, report fully ready.
Okay. Okay, so we got information Delta. Alright, so information Delta is telling us this is off the screen, I'm sorry, we cannot see. See transition level 40, wind 240 degrees, 10 knots, variable between 180 and 300 degrees, visibility 10 kilometers, fuel clouds 6,900 feet, broken 8,300, temperature 19, dew point 9, QNH 1022, and that has not changed. So our initial altitude will be 6,000 feet. And then they said to us, report when fully ready. Okay, so 6,000 feet in the box. And we have the VELNI 4 kilo as well, so we can go flight plan. So, pretty much set up here. See, in at B page we had and performance. Let's do the performance calculation. And we can actually send this to the MCDO. Pretty sweet. Maybe we should actually do that. Success. And if we now go to the init B page, press 1.7. I don't know, guess it's okay. Let's just try this maybe one more time. Success. 31.7. 31.7, okay. So then finally, performance page. I believe we have a performance calculator in here. We go departure performance. Runway surface, I guess it's dry, 211, think the final load sheet, think the live weather. And then we calculate. V1, 143, rotate 143, V2, 144. Transition out to 3,000, should actually be 4,000 feet. So we will put that in manually. Thrust reduction and acceleration altitude 1570. Flag takeoff temperature 70 degrees. And we'll do a flap 1 takeoff. And I believe actually we should be able to send this to the MCDO as well. So let's just do that and make our lives a little bit easier. Only thing we will change is transition altitude. That will be 4,000 feet. as the ATIS information is telling us right now, so 4,000 feet. And the rest, this all looks beautiful to me. V1 143, rotate 143, V2 144. Then I guess we might be pretty much fully ready. There is a company message. Let's have a look at that. This will be the load sheet. I believe that's also under ATSU. AOC menu, and then we got received messages. Then here we have our load sheet messages 1340 and 1408. Time now 1415. So we can just accept and return, and let's go to the final load sheet. Eindhoven Belgrade, bill of fuel weight 53.6, takeoff weight 60 mod 8, passengers 101, accept, that's it. Alright, so pretty much everything is loaded in. We got our initial altitude, 6,000 feet. We have QNH 1022 on the right side. I'm not sure if it's also on the left side, it's also on the right side. So that's looking good. Then I guess can report fully ready in just a little bit. Let's turn on the seatbelt sign. And no smoking can go on. Arm the emergency exit lights. And let's turn on the beacon because we will start our engines momentarily, and we will start up the APU. Open the fuel pumps. So any doors that we need to close manually perhaps, doesn't look like it. That's looking sweet. Right, so the APU is starting up, as you can hear. So here's our auxiliary power unit getting ready to blast us into the sky. Well, actually not really, doing some other things, such as providing internal power and everything. And I believe it helps with some of the bleed systems. Now while this is doing it, let me also start with the sky dolly. Just to pre-start it really, we're not recording anything yet, but obviously it would be nice after landing to make a little landing replay, so we can enjoy the landing from different kinds of angles if you want. So that has now started. It is not recording yet, but there it is. Let's get back inside and see if the ATIS is still not on. So let's go back to ground. So boarding completed. Everything else should be fine. Can we select operate spares maybe? And there they go. That's pretty much concluded. So I guess we contact ground. Eindhoven ground with a A320 request taxi. Request push and start at stand Sierra 9.
Wizz Air 812, please set squawk 2760.
Stand by 2760. Totally forgot the squawk. Oh, Osaka route 2760. Let's also turn on the TCAS. Eindhoven ground, with 812, requesting push and start.
Wizz Air 812, pushback and startup approved, facing north, QNH 1022.
Pushback north, QNH 1022, with Air 812.
Contact 246 information Delta onboard, holding shore, Romeo 5.
Transavia 256, welcome to Eindhoven. Taxi
Alright,
to
pushback.
Sierra 8 at Romeo 2, hold short, runway 21.
Taxi Sierra 8 at Romeo 2, holding short runway 21, Transavia 256.
So that means nose to the left at Eindhoven Airport. The GSX would come, that would be very nice. Interrupt pushback. No, we don't have to interrupt anything.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
Oh, that's very nice. So are we.
Departure checks completed. Bypass been inserted.
Let's actually.
Locking gear.
This outside view has some really weird views, so let's just go for this one for now. Let's get back inside. So that will be nose to the left and the tail to the right. Oh, we need to remove our chocks. Fenix. Ground services. So external unit. Okay. So this is what I mean. Like, okay. So let's put on the APU bleed. External power can be turned off from up here. And the external power unit can go, and the chocks and cones can go as well.
Release parking brakes, please.
Park brake release.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Right, so start up number 2. Actually, lately the SOPs for Airbus have changed, and all the aircraft should actually start engine number 1 first. But it's too late. We're already starting number 2. I'm sure we'll get there. So here we are, pushing back from the VATSIM network for a short flight from Eindhoven to Belgrade, Serbia, using the Wizz Air livery on the Fenix A320 Airbus, using real world time, real world weather, Aerosoft simple traffic full. Those should generate some, although actually not sure if that works online, by the way. But here we are pushing back and starting our engines.
Transavia 256 at Romeo 2, cross runway 21, continue to stand Sierra 8.
Engine number 1.
Continue runway 21 at Romeo 2, continue to Sierra 8, Transavia 256.
Let's close the flight deck door, shall we? We'll look at our passengers later.
set parking brakes.
Parking
Waiting for
brake set.
confirmation for a good engine start.
And we lock the flight deck door. And we'll set our flaps 1. And for departure we'll have the auto brake to max. Alright, so that's 2 engines started. Let's confirm engine start and then we can request taxi clearance.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
We've got some incoming traffic there that just landed here at Eindhoven. So now we just wait for the
Unlocking gear.
for the gate to be unlocked and the bypass then to be removed.
Toll track deselected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear, right is clear.
Alright. Eindhoven ground with a A320, request taxi to runway 21.
Wizz Air 812, when clear of the Transavia 737 in front of you, taxi to holding point Lima 1, runway 21.
We're actually clear of the Transavia 737, so we'll taxi to via Lima 2, you said, is that correct?
Wizz Air 812, negative, Lima 1, runway 21.
Lima 1 for runway 21 with 812. Alright, so we can get going. FPS Legal, how are you doing, man? Nice of you to say hi, hope you're doing well. Welcome aboard. We're doing a short flight on VATSIM from Eindhoven to Belgrade. Alright, so let's turn on the taxi lights. We are cleared to taxi to the runway. Oh, let's see. Runway turn off light. And we should actually be able to turn off the APU and the APU bleed now. Parking brake released. And let's get this baby up into the sky. So here up next to the left would be Lima 2, but we were cleared only by the Lima 1, so we'll take the second one to the left. FPS League was saying, gonna be doing my first flight on VATSIM soon. Also, new sub. Hey, that's so cool, man. Hope you get recognition for that. Thank you so much for the kind words, FPS Legal. I appreciate it. And good luck, and especially have a lot of fun on the VATSIM. It's in the beginning, it is maybe a little bit intimidating, depending on on lots of things. For me, it's always a little bit intimidating, I must say, because I do not do this very often. But it is very cool to do. It's a very nice way to try and follow the SOPs, basically, and all the procedures. All right, so we're.
Wizz Air 812, no further ATC available. Monitor Unicom 122.8. Have a nice flight. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Unicom 122.8. Good day, sir. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, so I guess we can just. Well, let's actually first hold short here. Right, holding short. Let's set our parking brake. Let's go to Unicom 122.8. reporting ready for takeoff. Let's listen in.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. Let's go Unicom. See if there's anything on the approach side. Looks pretty clear. There is some little lights going on there in the corner. I'm not sure if you can see at home. Eindhoven traffic. Takeoff runway 21. VELNI 4 kilo departure Eindhoven traffic. Alright, so let's turn on the runway lights. Or the landing lights. Probe goes on. I think that's pretty much it. As I said, I've been a little bit out of my flow with the Airbus, but we should be able to do this. But it's cool actually to fly the Airbus again. It's also cool to fly to Belgrade again. It's been a while since I flew to Belgrade on the channel. But I will not be doing a rolling takeoff. I do need like a short minute. But we can stop right here. I think all we really need to do is take the takeoff config test. Spoilers are not armed, thank you. That's what the test is very nice for. So now we should be fully configured for takeoff. And then, oops, let's not roll too much. We'll start the timer. I believe that is it. So let's do this. Parking brake release. We can ignore this message. Don't worry about that. So flex MCT. It is not liking it. I believe the flaps were not the one. But we're taking off. Right, so rotate. Pitch. Right, positive right, gear up. Let's turn on the autopilot immediately. And the thrust levers go to climb. And they're there. 81, 1 FT2, auto thrust. So initial altitude 6,000 feet, but as there is no further ATC available, I guess we can just go straight to our cruising altitude 370. Right, so let's have a close look what's going on right now. Standing by for the left turn. Can disarm the ground spoilers. Turn off the runway turn-off lights. FPS logo, been collecting some confidence the last past days to start your first flight. Yes, man. That's totally relatable, believe me. And you got Microsoft 2024 like 2 weeks back. I've been playing it a lot. Complete aviation noob, really. Oh, that's so cool, man. So you got a lot of stuff to learn. That is so nice. But now comfortable to fly the Vision Jet. Oh, the Vision Jet, that's nice. I have that too. Although learning the A320 Neo by fly-by-wire. Yes, that's a very nice aircraft. That's a very good aircraft, the fly-by-wire, and it has a little printer as well. I believe the printer in this one does not work, but in the fly-by-wire it does. Let's go to standard pressure now. And again, I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone with this aircraft, but I used to fly it a lot, so it's don't worry, we will land. Speed 220. Let's have a look outside, see if everything outside looks okay. Look at that. Fly-by-wire detailed, absolutely. Very cool aircraft, totally free, and these people have been working so hard on it. So they definitely deserve a lot of recognition, if you ask me. They've been working so hard, and they just provide like this aircraft for totally free for the community, you know. And that is basically very sweet, you know. That's just super sweet. They don't ask any money for it. They just out of sheer love for aviation, and that is absolutely commendable. I absolutely appreciate that they're doing that. That is so kind of them. 10,000 feet. We can turn off the landing lights. I believe. Let's see. Can we do this in one go? Yes, we can. Speed 220. All right. So we're flat. Like I have to like double check here a little bit. Huge respect for them. Absolutely, man. 11,000. See, the nose is dropping. I guess we can release our passengers as well. Let's have a little window view. Look at the progress page. My plan 16:31. We expect it to arrive, and the time is now 14:37. I'm not sure. I think it's this button. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. Welcome aboard with 812 for a flight to Belgrade. We have turned off the seatbelt signs, but please be advised to, once you're in your seat, just keep your seatbelts on. You know, you never know what's going to happen. We're currently climbing at altitude of 14,000 feet, and we are expected to arrive at Belgrade Airport in approximately 1 hour and 55 minutes. We hope you enjoy the flight. Thank you very much. On behalf of the entire crew and Wizz, thank you for your attention. Alright. Alright, so we are still on VATSIM, so let's not forget. So we cannot do everything what we want. So in case I start to become disruptive, which I do not want to be, I can always disconnect. And FPS Legal, do you have any destination in mind that you want to fly? You want to fly like straight, you want to go to like to LAX or Amsterdam or you know, or like congested areas with lots of traffic, or do you feel like, you know, I'm just gonna start with a small airport maybe to some other airports that maybe have like 1 or 2 stations in between? It's nice if you have a little bit of I can imagine it's nice if you're a little bit new to it, that you have some sort of a stepping stone, you know? You don't go dive in completely, but everybody learns in a different way. Do you have any ideas on that? What you want to do? Which route do you want to fly in VATSIM? Right, so the aircraft is still there. That's good. 17,000 feet. Speed's now picking up. Thrust levers are at climb. We're at open climb. Let's see. We should be managed. Let's see. There, we're in climb mode now. So one thing for the A320 to take note, the mode control panel will, well, this is basically what you are requesting, the aircraft, but here on the primary flight display, this is what the aircraft is actually doing. So this is the bit where you check what am I doing. Not really here. So you can look here and say, well, we're flying to 37,000 feet, but that's not necessarily correct. This is what you are requesting, but this is, oops, here is actually what the aircraft is telling you that it is doing. So that's one interesting thing I learned once. The short flight, but the airport where it's not super crowded, yeah, exactly, where at sea coverage. Look, so there's our first station requesting our attention, so let's have a look. That will be EDDL approach. Please contact me 128.555. 128. Decimal 555. Let's first have a little sip of my iced tea. And then let's see what they're called. EDDL. That will be Langen radar. So we will report in with Langen radar. So we are now on our way to SUMOP. Langen radar with 812. We are climbing through flight level 222 for 370. We are 10 knots miles from SUMOP.
Russia 812, Langen radar lower than defined. Proceed direct towards my hotel, class level 244.
Please repeat for Wizz 812, thank you.
Class level 240 and direct towards my hotel.
Direct to Golf Mike Hotel for Wizz 812.
And class level 240.
I have to turn up his volume, stand by.
Airline Callsign, Tango, flight level 200. 6 Tango, Mountain Supervisory.
So we go direct page.
6 Tango.
Golf Mike Hotel.
Russia 812, contact Langen und 135.650 bei.
Can you please repeat the frequency for Wizz 812, thank you.
135.650.
135.650. 135.650, goodbye. Let's go direct Golf Mike Hotel.
504, 1
So we're turning direct Golf Mike Hotel. And now we contact 135.65.
Before 30 feet, Q9 to 133, reach at Visit Stone and clear for the RA runway 38.
Nee, bei mir ist alles abgegangen.
That's we're tuned in. Excuse me. Okay, so that will be Langen radar. Langen radar with 812, flight level 264 through to 370. We are 49 knots miles from Golf Mike Hotel.
With your 8182 Langen, good day, identified climb flight level 330.
Climb 360 with 812.
Lange moin, was ist hier vorne nach Charlie Eindhoven, ready copy Alpha.
So we request 360 up here.
Charlie Langen, hello.
And we always check
you are clear to your destination, Palma de Mallorca via the Germinghausen 1. Uniform departure, flight plan route, temperature 5,000 feet, squawk 2117.
5,000 feet, Germinghausen 1 uniform, 2117, must be forward Charlie.
Going 6 Charlie, hotel descent 4,000 feet, QNH Dortmund 1022.
I'm just checking the chat here because there's a lot of things, as you can see there's a lot of things going on. So obviously first you, what do they say, first you aviate, then you navigate, and then you communicate, okay? So that is a very interesting order to always keep in mind. First you fly, so you don't crash, and then you navigate so you don't crash into another plane or to a mountain. And then lastly, on the priority list, you actually state your intentions and you communicate. That is the healthiest order in which the pilot should operate. So right now there's a little bit of space, so I can check the chat. FTS logo saying European airspace, especially always full. Just a small question. Change my cockpit interactive mode to legacy. The time I was flying A320 Neo from LYBE where the practice flying it was facing a few small issues that I don't know. When I tried to change the heading speed or altitude, the aircraft wasn't changing it, even though I tried to push and pull the knob, nothing happened. That could have something to do with the, I believe you should fly legacy mode. My apologies. Stand by.
And all stations, Langen is now closing because my Düsseldorf approach is going offline and I'm seeing my sector prediction. I'm unable to control that everything. So to everyone, monitor Unicom, have a nice flight. Bye-bye.
Good night, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheers.
So we go 122.8. Now this is like really tedious, yeah, right? In the simulator, using your mouse, and I would, in that sense, who wouldn't love to have just like hardware dials and everything, you know? So turn to the chat. So try to change the heading, speed or altitude. The aircraft wasn't changing it, even though it tried to push and pull. That is interesting. And one way to check, obviously, I don't want to make you look like an idiot, so I'm sorry if I'm saying the obvious, but always obviously check AP1 or AP2 is on, you know. That is the first thing, and I also think what you said, probably I think you should use the legacy mode. I know that in the beginning I wasn't sure, and I changed it to the other one and it was totally weird, so I believe legacy is the one to go. Heading, speed, altitude mode weren't enabling. How to enable them with the mouse button wasn't shown in the primary display. Any idea what I'm doing wrong? I really don't know what's going on. What is fly legacy? I actually have no clue, to be honest, what the legacy mode is. I've never dived into it. All I know is that what I use and that works for me. But I think it's a very fair chance that you probably should use a legacy mode. Do research, maybe you could ask ChatGPT as well. I ask ChatGPT a lot of things. Sometimes when I say I have dandruff, they say, well, you can just cut off your head. So, you know, it's not perfect. Nah, just making a little joke, but no, but you can research it. I don't know if it's legal. I don't know what the legacy mode exactly means, but I think that is the one that you should try. So what you could do is maybe go into your settings, put it on legacy mode, and just make sure that the autopilot at least is on. It should work. We are now, for instance, following, we have the dot, so we have the dot at our speed, and we have the dot at our heading, which basically means this is managed mode. In the Airbus, this means managed mode. And so that's basically being managed by the FMS, the Flight Management System. And if we were, for instance, now to say, we pull the button, we are now in heading mode, and we can now just change our heading, and the aircraft should turn, as you can see. I will quickly put it back to manage mode, because I do not want to cause any problems here on the network. But you can try around, play around with things like that. Yeah, definitely change it to legacy. I think that that might already make a lot of difference, because I think, me too, and this is a couple of years ago, legal for me, but I think, if I remember correctly, the difference was like huge, like seriously huge. So I definitely, yeah, so that could really be the case. Just try to use the legacy mode, and there's a very good chance that all your problems will just disappear like snow, like snow under the sun, or how the hell they say that. Give that a try and let me know how it goes. I would like to know. And it's so cool that you're going to fly on the VATSIM too, man. And you know, as I said, I have some experience flying on line, but you can see there's so many things going on. Like one of the things I tried to do is, for instance, go through all the waypoints, and we did this earlier. Read them out loud. Golf, Mike Hotel, TESGA, OSBIT, BOREP. Because at some point there will be some station, they'll be contacting you, and they'll be saying, and they will sound like this. Please go to BOREP. You're like, what the hell are they saying? And you can hear go direct, but you do not recognize to what, you know. But if you at least sort of like pronounce these out loud with your mouth and your lips, sound coming out of your mouth, then your ears have heard the oral version, and it can really sometimes make a difference. And then you quickly go, you saw me doing it as well. I was going through, what the hell is this guy saying? And I quickly go, okay, direct to where? What? And then I saw Golf Mike Hotel, and I was like, oh, okay, so that's it. Because sometimes it's hard to understand. You know, people have their own accents, and at the same time, you're not just sitting there, you know, eating French fries. You're probably having quite some workload. You're doing some things. You want to make sure everything's going okay, you know, that's why we do it. We want to have some you know, some immersion. We'd like to have the real deal as much as we can, you know, otherwise we'd probably be real pilots not having time to play flight simulator. So we want to make sure that we're doing everything correctly. So we're doing a lot of things at the same time. And now all of a sudden this ATC will start talking to you, and you're like, oh shit, well you're disrupting my flow, man. But actually, if you do not reply correctly, you're disrupting everyone's flow. So that bit can be slightly intimidating. I will be the first to acknowledge that it's intimidating a little bit for me. Just do it often. And second tip, observe. Before you do your clearance, let's say you're standing at the gate and you're starting up your aircraft. You do not need ATC for all of that, right? So you're doing the pre-flight checks, you're setting up the MCDU. Tune into the station and listen to what other pilots are asking, what ATC is saying. For instance, when you're at an aircraft at an airport with a semi-complex taxi structure. I mean, Eindhoven, where we just left, is not a good example. Eindhoven is like one of the most simple airports, you know. I'll show you on the chart. This is like super simple. This is where all the other pilots will be. There's 2 points, Lima 1, Lima 2, that's the runway. Or they will say cross the runway 21 via Romeo, and you go here, and then you take off into that direction. But other airports, they might have like all these kinds of crazy taxiways, you know. And for me, it helps to sort of observe and listen to what other pilots, what taxi clearance do they get. Let's say we're parked here at this arrow, and there's an aircraft sitting there or sitting there, and then you get, but they are first, they're before you, and they get some taxi clearance. And just pay attention to what taxi clearance are they getting. And what I do myself, sometimes I sort of backtrack, if that makes sense. I go like, I need to go there, so probably the last one definitely will have to, let's say we have to take off from this runway, for instance, so from this direction, but we are parked here. Again, this is a very simple example, but you just look, what would definitely be my route, and then at least you have some idea. And it could be that they say something else, but then at least you see that there is a change. And these kinds of things, small things, can really help prepare a little bit to assimilate the information that they're giving to you, because there's a lot of things going on. I do hope you'll have a good time on the VATSIM, and I'm actually sure you will, because it's, you know, it's all good. And ATC are your friends, you know, they're there to help you. So if you don't know, ask. I have had moments where I did not ask, and I really made myself look like an idiot. And to the point where they pretty much could have thought that I was doing it on purpose, or that I was just, or at least like not willing to. And that's not the case. I want to do it correctly, but sometimes you might get nervous, and you're like, I'm afraid to ask. I don't want to look like an idiot. I do not want to know. I do not want to ask how to fly my own damn airplane, you know. And then if you then decide, you know what, I'm just going to do it, then you're going to get into trouble. So just ask. The power of asking is you'll get an answer. And if the other person don't like you asking, well, they should not become an ATC. You know, that's how it works. So, you know, they're here to help each other out. And, you know, with us flying, ATC also has something to do, you know. These ATC guys, they love doing it. They like doing this. So, yeah, so it's always good to ask, especially in real life, obviously, you know. You're carrying a lot of passengers and kerosene, and you do want to confirm. And yeah, so these small tips, I hope they can help you get a little bit more acquainted with the procedures online and the the phraseology that is being used, you know, what's the kind of thing ATC wants to know from me. You know, they don't want to know your life story, you know. If they need a little bit of context, sure, you provide it. But other than that, you keep it simple. And again, observe what other pilots are saying, what is ATC saying, and you'll get the hang of it. I'm sure, Lego. And wish you lots of fun, man. It's totally cool, and especially when you then successfully land, and then ATC says, welcome to Eindhoven or welcome to Belgrade. It's just so cool. Let's have a look outside. Alright, cool. So we are on our way. We're at cruising now 36,000 feet as opposed to 37,000 feet that was in our flight plan. We are on Unicom now, 122.8. The flight plan. Top of climb, yes, so it's still really waiting for us to go 370. You know what? There is no ATC. Let's go 370. And then at least the aircraft will feel that it's cruising, because it's probably still in climb mode, as you can see here. CLB, so we're at climb mode. My pleasure, Lego. I'm sure you'll have lots of fun. Just observe. And also make sure you have pen and paper with you. That really helps. Just write down what you hear, and then go from there. You don't do it all in your head, because you'll be overloading your brain needlessly. Also seeing the earlier procedures you were learning, but oh, that's so cool. Really, I hope you learned something, Lego. I'm by no way didactically skilled or you know. What I know, I like to share, and if it helps anyone, that is cool. And if it is simply enjoyment for someone, that's also cool. And if you can learn something, that is really nice. Thank you so much, Lego. And if you have questions, just feel free to ask. If you have like requests, that's also cool. Just don't request me to turn off the engines in mid-flight. Well, you can always request, right? I can always answer. We can both feel free. Alright, we're cruising altitude now. Still saying climb right there, but it looks like no, it doesn't look like anything. So we're still going forward. We're 25 minutes into the flight. We zoom out a little bit further. Yeah, we still have a little bit to go. It will be like 1 hour 50 minutes flight time. So we're now only like 25 minutes. So we got a little bit to prepare ourselves. Also about the issue earlier, let's have a look. Yes, Lego saying about the issues earlier, if this was matter, I didn't put any flight plan. Okay, it might start to make sense. Since you just want to practice flying the A320 Neo and use the autopilot and all that. That is a significant bit of information, Lego, because if there's no flight plan, there is no managed mode, if that makes sense. However, what I showed you earlier, if you put it on, well, looks like there's some turbulence here. Look at that. There was quite some turbulence going on. Like if you put it on heading mode, then you're simply flying heading mode, and that should actually, I think that should work. So I'm not quite sure. But try simple things instead. When you want to test out certain systems, don't send your aircraft to the front line immediately, if that makes sense. But just do something simple. Take off from one airport, for instance. Just take off and see if you can put it on heading mode. Let's say heading mode is the runway heading, and just take off. Choose one altitude, stick with that. And then see how it responds, you know, one thing at a time, and you'll get the use of it. And there's some very nice informative channels. One all-time huge big hero of mine is 320 Sim Pilot. This guy is was a real Airbus pilot. He's now flying long-haul aircraft, Boeing 787, I believe. This guy has like true detective skills. He's a gentleman as well. Like a high level of integrity and politeness and knowledge, and he has a very good way of explaining everything. So he will definitely be able to he definitely has some very, very, very interesting videos for you. So do yourself a favor and check him out as well. Let's see about the dot being there. There was no dot. Okay, yeah, so the dot should, as far as I know, the dot should only be there when there is actually a flight plan. Because that is managed mode, yeah. So I guess that would make sense. Okay, we are OSBIT, 6.2 nautical miles from OSBIT, and then BOREP, ENITA, ETVIS, BUDEX. Let me have a look here on the, this is off the screen, but go to look and see if there's any other, can expect any other stations maybe. No clue where the hell we are. While I do that off the 320 pilot, yeah, go check him out. This is Flight Simulator 2020. Okay, so I'm curious, what is the next station that we can expect? So stand by 1 second. Looks like there will be no further ATC for quite a while. Belgrade is still online, so that's cool. So hopefully we can speak to Belgrade once we get closer. Oh, they've all jumped. All right, let's get back to the flight deck. Company message, let's have a look. Wizz Ops, and what is that telling us? Oh, that's a delay card for 7 minutes. The ATC delay card on company tablet and allocate as something. 7 minutes. So I believe we should sort of like give a reason. Let's check. Where do we do this again? Delay allocation card. So we just send them a code. This is just something that's simulated, it's pretty cool. So let's say, what is the reason? Just do miscellaneous other OTH. So AOC manual and ADC delay. So delay code is OTH for other. So this is sent to our company, I guess. Delay time 7 minutes. And then we just send. So basically we're telling our boss why we are departing late, I guess. And I think then you get a received message. This is in the Fenix A320. Then you should get at some point, you should get a message back saying acknowledge or something, ADC received, you know, that's all. Alright. I'm going to put the one of the window views on, see if there's a window view on the left side. I will quickly step into the galley to get the new refreshing iced tea, and I will be back within 2 shakes of a donkey's ear. Alright, so back. Hopefully we did not get a call from anyone on ATC. get back to the flight deck and let me get to V pilots. And there's no messages, okay, so that's cool. So we're not snubbing anyone, we're not ignoring anyone, we're not being bad. So have a look outside for a second. So this is actually a real world flight, only distance to Euro to Cameroon, Callsign with 812. And the flight time is different, but other than that it's a real world flight by Wizz using the Airbus A320-200. I may have turned off the autopilot accidentally. Let's quickly turn that back on. So in a little bit we shall start preparing also for our descent and for our arrival. And in the meantime we should be aware that we're still on VATSIM, so we may actually have to talk to, we'll probably have to talk to Belgrade control. Lego saying also one small question due to the ATC sound effects inbuilt in the pilots and accents. How do you understand ATC? They also speak pretty fast. Absolutely. Absolutely. As I said, there's actually also differences in volume. So your volume might be set perfectly for the ATIS, and then you go to some other station, and all of a sudden they will sound like this, like they will sound like really low, you know, or some other pilot might sound really loud. So there's an issue there as well. Just fine tune it. For me, I have the window open in Windows with the what's it called? The volume mixer for Windows, so that you can adjust the volume for all your different apps. That helps to have it all overslided in one little window. That definitely helps. But to understand them, it also helps to, as I said earlier, to observe, so you will sort of understand what the phraseology usually is. Usually a lot of things are sort of similar, and it can definitely help to, you know, as I said, I will really read these out loud for myself. All these waypoints, I will read these waypoints out loud for myself, because they have funny names. If you're flying and somebody says to you, hey, BOREP, you're like, what the hell? BOREP, BUDEX, you know, I don't know. And if you do not understand, let's say ATC says, Lego Airways 812, clear direct to BOREP, they'd be like, you know, you not understand, you can always ask them to spell it, and they will say, sometimes they do it automatically, and they will say, Bravo, Uniform, Delta, Echo, X-ray. That's why it's, again, very good to have pen and paper with you, because, yeah, you know, you can quickly note it down. And I've done this. I've heard them say something, and I was like, I don't know, just writing it down, and then I look at it, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what I mean. Because sometimes you don't understand. That's a very good question. That's also, for me, why it's sometimes a little bit scary, because they talk as if they assume that you understand everything. And this is actually an issue in real life as well, you know. If a pilot from the United States might fly to India, or might fly to China, and the ATC there could have a very different accent to what they're used to, and that can be a challenge. So it's always good to know the spelling alphabet: Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Juliet, Kilo, Lima, Mike, November, etc. That also helps, so you can have people spell things out and confirm. So fuel on board 5.2 thousand kilograms. We're Mac mode, alt cruise and nav. We're cruising now 37,000 feet. So top of descent, let's see where is our top of descent. It will be at 1550. So it's in about 40 minutes we will start our descent. Lego, no worries, man, and thank you for watching, for subscribing, and for chatting, and for asking questions, and just basically for joining, man. Welcome aboard. We're here just to have some fun, and if we can learn something, that's cool, you know. So no worries there. Just that sometimes it might be a little bit late responding. Obviously, you know. First I aviate, then I navigate, and then I communicate, which I highly believe in. And also for ATC, you know, sometimes you just have to leave them waiting, because you know what you're going to do. You're going to crash your aircraft just because you want to say acknowledge to ATC, you know. Getting confidence to start your first flight soon. That is so cool, man. Yeah, just start somewhere simple. Let's say, if I may, you know, I'm just thinking out loud. Let's say you will start from like one airport where there's a little bit of, let's say you have one airport where there's just a small airport, there's like one station. And fly from there to like an airport close by. And maybe just start with a simple aircraft, an aircraft that you feel confident in. And you fly to a nearby airport only to practice communications, and you could even consider, you know what, I'm just going to take off from that airport, I'm going to talk to ATC, what do I need to do, you know, like you can ask your clearance, they will give you taxi clearance, you will take off, and then you're flying. And then if you feel like this went okay, you can, for instance, just say, I'm going to disconnect, you know, and then you do that again later, and then just step by step, you just gain some more experience. That could be an idea as well. No, I do not have a Discord server. You've been observing so far. Now you're waiting for your turn. Yeah, just go ahead and do it, man. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's, I mean, it is really how the human brain works as well. You know, you can prepare for certain things, sure, but at some point you just go in there and you just make yourself look like an idiot. That usually is a good motivation for our memory to store some valuable information, you know. I believe actually I may have a Discord. No, I don't. I'm thinking about Twitch. Yeah, I'm not too much into all of that. I'm quite comfortable streaming here on YouTube, but I don't know. I've noticed that the channel has been expanding quite a lot since the last couple of weeks. Ever since I started doing landing replay videos, and so maybe, you know, maybe I will start using Twitch, maybe Discord. Thanks for the question, because it might actually help me expand a little bit my my channel as well, you know. So thanks so much for that question, Lego, and yeah, something that will probably at some point will be inevitable. But what I said, just consider, for instance, doing not an entire flight, but maybe just, let's say, you fly until here, you know, where we are now. So you basically see, like, hey, can I feel comfortable getting online, standing at the apron or at the gate, requesting my clearance, putting everything in the system, and then request taxi clearance, drive to the runway, take off, and then you disconnect. If you feel, you know, like, that could be, I'm not saying you should do it, but that could be, for instance, one way for you to gain some more, basically you compartmentalize, you know, your process, rather than just going straight out there like 100% swim or die. No, just make it into small chunks, and that can greatly help a person's confidence level, you know, rather, yeah, because then you will focus, this will force you to focus on your success, rather than get overwhelmed by the things that you feel like you should improve, you know? So I think that's general advice for anything, really. I mean, look at my life, but I don't know. I mess up things, but I think it's could be a good way to get acquainted with things. Looks like that might be on top of the set there. I think it's now it's a good time. So let's have a look at what we can expect. Also helps if you have SimBrief and Navigraph. Navigraph is a paid service, so it does cost you some money. So consider what you can miss. We have the RIGMU 2 Alpha, I believe. Let's check our OSBIT just to be sure. Pilot brief. RIGMU 2 Alpha will be our arrival for runway 21 right. So RIGMU 2 Alpha, so we go to RIGMU. And this is like a typical RNAV zigzag pattern, and it's taking us to DEVDA. And we could already see earlier DEVDA, and the next waypoint, let's actually go to the charts, and we get the chart for ILS 1 to the right. So approach, runway 1 to the right, ILS for localizer. The Airbus A320, we can use this chart. So DEVDA, initial approach fix, and then Lambda. So we can just connect these two. I will show you later, you will understand. But we will need some information from this chart. So if we now go to the plan setting, so we are now on the map view on our navigational display. We now go to plan. We can go through all the steps and sort of preview them. So we'll do this like this. So after SASAL will be the top of descent, you can see it right there. And then we're going to zoom in, so we'll see what the hell it is that we're talking about. Because as you can see, it's getting very clogged up there. So this is the RNAV approach. This is just waypoints, GPS waypoints. There's no radio, no VORs or anything. So what you want to see is DEVDA, and then flight plan discontinuity. We can just delete that. We zoom in even further, we should be able to see that between DEVDA and Lambda is no line. There's no green line there. So that means the aircraft is like, hey, after DEVDA, what the hell do you want me to do, Arkady? And in this case, in our case, we can just do clear, flight plan discontinuity, and we'll say insert the clearness, if you will, and we'll say yes, we insert. So now there's a green line. That is one thing. Chart Fox, good. Don't want to spend money on getting Navigator. Yeah, that makes sense. I've this is the first time I've ever heard of Chart Fox, so I don't know. There are lots of Jeppesen charts anyway. Usually there's lots of charts available for free. It's just Navigraph is super convenient because it obviously has a lot of, I don't know, it's really set up in a way that it's really convenient, okay? But you don't need that. It's absolutely a luxury. I totally agree. And I'm glad I'm paying for it, but you don't have to, for sure. That's a very good question, I think. There is a website called SkyVector. SkyVector, be very careful. You can make an account, that's no problem. Do not file a flight plan. Do not file a flight plan on SkyVector, because that is actually a website that's being used by real pilots. And if you file a flight plan, they expect you to fly it. So you could get into trouble. But other than that, I hope I did not scare you too much, but I do want to scare you, you know, it would be really a shame if you file a flight plan and, you know, probably this happens every week, I don't know, but don't do it. But the website, SkyVector, is really nice. They have some charts, at least for the United States. I'm not sure if they have charts for Europe, but you could check it out, SkyVector. And, but if you just search, for instance, Echo Hotel charts, you'll probably find something. You've heard about SkyVector? Yeah, I know. Yeah, you don't want to risk it. I have an account, and I use it for VOR flights sometimes, like when I do like general aviation aircraft it's really nice because there's a lot of information. But yeah, you do not want to file flight plan, but you know, if you trust yourself, you can just go ahead and do it. No worries. Alright, so let's prepare for the arrival. So this bit, I guess, is looking good. And now I'm curious about the fix page. I believe we can set up a fix. And this is totally different from what I've been flying with the PNG 737 and 777. So at Rosgi, we will start our 3-degree glide slope. Rosgi will be 8.2 nautical miles from Yankee Bravo Golf, which is the ILS identifier. 109.5, heading 117. That's the runway heading. I like to always make a little fixed point, so like a circle on the navigational display at 8.2 nautical miles. So one way to set it up, you click any, it doesn't really matter, let's see, LYBE 1 to the right. You go fix info, you type in LYBE 1 to the right. I believe in the Airbus this is how you do it, and this should recognize this as a waypoint. That is one. Now the radio will be basically your runway heading, but what I want to see a circle. Let's say this is the airport. I want to see a line like this, extended runway center line, moving from the airport to us. So it will not be moving into a heading of 117, it will move to the opposite heading. And I'm a very lazy head calculator, so I always just go to the charts and look for 1 to the right, and then I look to 30 left, and I see the runway heading 297. That is the reciprocal, 297. So in the radio, I will type in 297, and I'll execute. And the radius, that should be the, let's see, what is it? 8.2 nautical miles. I'm not sure if it accepts 8.2. I don't believe it does. Let's try 8.2, so I'm not sure if it accepts the decimal. I might be going a little bit quick here. 8.2, it just rounds up to 8 nautical miles. That's okay, let's do that. And now if we go zoom out on our navigation display, you can see this blue line here, or this blue circle. That is exactly the circle. At this point, we basically want to be fully ready, you know, because this is where the glide slope will start to take us down once we do ILS approach. So that is one thing. I always like to have a little buffer, and I'm not sure, let's see, I think we just go to the second page. Maybe probably there's a better way to do it, but I haven't found it. So LYBE 1 to the right, just put that in again. And now the radio will still be 297? 297. So radio 297. And then I would like 50 nautical miles as well. What this does, gives us 2 rings, and it gives us this blue line here. You see, this is our flight plan, the green line, but this blue line goes on indefinitely, and this is the runway center line. And once you're flying this will really give you some idea of where you are. And these 2 rings will also greatly help, so you don't have to calculate everything, you know. Flights following the heading, altitude, the speed. I said, oh, that's so cool. Oh, you're actually flying right now, Lego. Everything working smoothly. That's so cool, man. Thanks for letting me know. Nice, good job, good job. So we now have 2 fixes created. So this one is 50 nautical miles, just to give us a little heads up, like we should be getting ready shortly, you know. And then from this line we want to be totally ready. So we have done that. So let's go back to the map view. Top of descent. We did not miss our top of descent, right? No, we did not. Okay, cool. some other information that we need as well. That's the radio altitude, or actually, I call it radio altitude. It's the decision altitude. And we can use category 2, I think. So let's say 100 feet radio altitude. I believe we put this on the performance page, so you get a proper view. We're now in the cruise stage. If you go next phase, it will show you descent. If you do next, you will get approach. You will have to enter our landing data here. So we have final approach. Final is ILS 212 right. So barrel or radio altitude. So we say radio altitude 100. Just type it in and click there, and you have your radio altitude set. So that's pretty cool. Now we need to know the weather. So maybe we're a little bit early, I don't know. But let's put in at least something. So here in the EFB, we can check the arrival weather. This was issued at 13:30 Zulu. Let's refresh. We have 1500 Zulu, so this is the latest weather we have. So QNH 1023. So just type in 1023 for Belgrade. The temperatures, Belgrade, 23 degrees, 23 degrees, 23. The wind is taking automatically, I think, 003 degrees at 10 knots. We have here 350 degrees at 10 knots. So let's enter that, 350 at 10. So 350/10. Transition flight level 105. Let's have a look what they're saying on the charts. Transition altitude 10,000 feet, so we can leave that in. And I think we're pretty much set up. We just keep on checking the weather. Let's go back to flight plan. We're on our way to BUDEX. No, from BUDEX to SASAL, and that's still 103 nautical miles. So we're pretty much set up for descent. Everything running smoothly now. Also here the QNH meter to the right side. What are those modes like? CSTR and so on. Yes, that's an interesting question. So this is your constraints. You can see sometimes there is a constraint. You are not allowed to fly below or above a certain altitude. If I turn off constraints, you will see the pink, I believe it's called magenta, but I'm bad at these colors. It will disappear. So this is the constraints that are in the flight plan. You are not allowed to fly at a higher speed than such and such, or you're not allowed to fly lower or higher than such and such altitude. And to have that information in your navigational display, you turn on the constraints. WPT, I think that's just waypoints. Look at the purple cloud around them. They're just waypoints that are not on your flight plan, but these are waypoints close by, I guess. I'm not really sure. I hardly use it. VOR, I think these are pretty much just VOR stations. So there's quite a lot around. NDB stations are listed here as well, and you can also say, I want to see all the available airports. So let's say we zoom in a little bit more. So the closest airport is, I think it's Innsbruck in Austria, LOWW. So you can also like keep it off. I always like to put it on constraints. So SASAL 88 nautical miles. What do we have on our progress page? I think, let's see, performance. To top of descent is 180 nautical miles, and that will be at 1550. That's in about 22 minutes or so. And then we'll start descending. So I need to have constraints on most of the flight to know that we fixed. Yeah, I'm not sure what the procedures are really. It is good to have the constraints on, I guess. You will have some of this information. You should have the information here in the flight plan as well. I must admit, again, since I haven't flown the Airbus for quite a while, I'm not really sure. I believe this is a constraint, flight level 170 at RIGMU. We can have a look at the chart, see if I'm correct. Flight level 170, I believe, is a hard constraint. You are not allowed to fly above or below 170. So let's look at RIGMA on the chart. RIGMU, sorry. Yeah, you are allowed to fly below. You can see by this line you should be at or below flight level 170 and at or above 7,000 feet. So yeah, do you need it on? Not necessarily, but I believe generally it is on. The A320 is a little bit funny like that because it is either or. So you either have constraints on, or you have the airports on, or you have the NBs. It doesn't have everything. There is no option to turn on all the buttons. So whatever you prefer. I can imagine, like when you're flying, obviously with two pilots, maybe one pilot will have it on airports, you know, is monitoring nearby airports, for instance. I guess it can also depend on the situation and what's going on. I would say, that's a long answer, I would say just leave it on. So as a extra reminder, but usually if you fly in managed mode, the aircraft should already respect all the constraints on its own anyway, you know? You're welcome, man. So 20 minutes to the top of the stand. Aircraft still 2 wings, 2 engines. Let me see if there's any further ATC that we can expect. Doesn't really look like it. At some point there will be the Belgrade ATC. ATC Belgrade is still actually on, so that's pretty cool. So that would be cute. So I will quickly run into the galley. So I will be back in a minute or two. So stand by. AP1, 1 FT2, autothrust, Mac mode, alt cruise, nav. And 1550 should be our top of descent, that's in 15 minutes. Never knew modern airliners, Lego was saying, never knew modern airliners had things like manage mode and things like that. Pretty cool, pretty used to doing more things, most things manually in the VisionJet. Yeah, the VisionJet in that sense more like a general aviation aircraft with somewhat more of an advanced autopilot, I guess. But yeah, I believe managed mode is, as far as I know, I think it's a term that's really pretty much Airbus. I think it's an Airbus term. But it sort of all comes down to the same. In the Boeing you'll have VNAV and LNAV mode, those kind of things. But I think we're pretty much set up, ready for descending. We should at some point probably contact Belgrade. Let me see if we are contacted by them. Not yet, so we didn't miss anything. So we're not being disruptive or anything. And one other tip might be, before you descend, to have a look at the airport chart, whatever chart you will use, but at least you know once you land. So we are going to land runway 12 right, okay? So that you know which way to exit. Some airports it's really simple, you can see it, you can't miss. Other airports might have runways in the middle, and there might be all these taxiways around them. It's good to have some idea of where is what. And that's also, so preparation helps you a lot in getting things done a little bit more smoothly, you know. So that'd be a good advice for you as well if you want to fly on VATSIM. This is what I try to do myself, sometimes I forget. But let's say like Belgrade, they are now online, they're telling me, hey Arkady, welcome man, you can land, okay, so we'll land. Like I know Belgrade airport, so we'll just take a ride at Delta 6 or whatever and we taxi back. But if you don't know the airport, you know, it could make things a little bit more difficult. Hey SimNoob, hi there, I just subscribed. Thank you so much SimNoob. Welcome aboard my friend. Thank you for saying hi and thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I was thinking of buying Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. SimNoob was saying, should I get it from Microsoft Store or Steam? That's an interesting one. I don't have experience with Microsoft Store, so I don't think it makes a lot of difference. Basically, whichever you prefer. Lego saying Steam. I would say Steam as well, but that's what my experience is. It's cool that you're looking to buy. In any case, flying the aircraft, it will make zero difference, obviously. It's simply still flying, but yeah, go for Steam. Yeah, I think so too. You're welcome, man. Yeah, I agree with Lego. But you know, I don't have experience with the Microsoft Store. I don't have a Microsoft account in my Windows and everything. I don't like that. So, you know, if I can steer clear of anything Microsoft related, I do. I don't know why. It just feels good to me. But you can do it on Steam, you know. It works perfectly. Alright, cool man. I'm getting a little bit excited. It's nice. There's also some chats going on. It makes it nice and lively. That's very nice. I've never bought anything from Microsoft Store, so really don't know. Yeah, just like me. Plus I prefer Steam, it's Trust too. Yeah, I agree. Experience has always been good. Microsoft Store limited payment options. Oh, okay. Yeah, Steam has been using Steam for years, and it's amazing. I love it. And Lego is right, you can trust it. It's a good system. So that white arrow there will be our top of climb. Sorry, our top of descent. We're already at cruising altitude. So we're standing by to at some point. You're welcome, SimNoob. I hope you have lots of fun with your new flight simulator. It's my first time getting a sim game. Oh, that's so cool, man. Wow, that is really nice, man. If you like aviation, Microsoft Flight Simulator is absolutely cool. I don't have experience with 2024. I know it loads the aircraft sometimes a little bit slowly, so you're sitting there inside the aircraft and everything is still looking fuzzy because it's not fully loaded in yet. I would totally hate that. So it doesn't, how do I say, shop around, inform yourself before you buy. I can imagine you want to buy 2024 since that's the latest one, you know. That would usually pretty much make sense, I guess. But it's maybe good to just research for yourself, like what would be, you know, what do I want, and what would suit my needs the best, you know. Still a few bugs, yeah, exactly. One of the really cool things about 2024 to me would be that you can do a walk around. You can walk around, you know, but at the same time, you know, really I'm just flying usually, right? So that to me would not be quite the unique selling point. But it's something to consider. That is at least one major difference that I know of. Right, so we are still flying online. We should remember to at some point turn on the landing system in the Airbus. We have pretty much set up everything else. We do not have checklists. I believe there might be checklists. Let's see. I never use a checklist in this aircraft. No, this one is empty. There might be checklists in here, but I'm not sure. I'm not even going to bother. It's okay. Let's do weather check. So this was at 1500 Zulu. 1530. So we have new weather, 23 degrees, the wind 330 at 9 knots. So let's update the performance page. So the next phase until we reach approach. We are 1, 2 right. Radio altitude will not change, but the weather may have changed. The QNH still the same, 1023, but let's just double check step by step, 1023. Temperature, Belgrade currently 23 degrees centigrade, that's also still the same, but the wind was now 330 at 9 knots as opposed to 350 at 10. So we have here 330 9 knots. So we'll just copy that, 330 9 knots. And I'll show you an interesting thing in case you didn't know. Maybe you do. I stream quite regularly usually. Alright man, thank you so much Simloop for saying hi and for subscribing. I stream regularly, so do check in, and we also do some landing replays. Try to do them after every flight. Let's say 330 hasn't changed, but the wind has changed to 20 knots. Then you can do simply / and then you just fill in the bit that needs to be changed after the slash. You can always also do it the other way around. So let's say wind is going to be 12 degrees. You do this and it should change. Oh no, it doesn't. My bad. Usually it works, but I guess it doesn't work on the approach page. So I'm making a fool out of myself. But let's keep this in. But usually that's how it works in these flight management systems, like the MCDU and the FMC on the Boeing. Usually when there's a slash involved, you can say, I want to change only this value or only that value by typing what you want to change, and then for instance the / and just do nothing, or the other way around. You keep that, so you just do / and you type what you want to change. Okay, so we do have our latest weather. Top of descent at 15:51, 1 minute later. Well, it's in about, I don't know, what is it, 8 minutes or something. See if the HC at Belgrade is still on. We have Belgrade 8 information, 125.025. Let's prepare a little bit. And LEGO, this is also an interesting thing. When you're flying on VATSIM, I tend to forget. If you know what the next radio station is going to be, you can pre-dial it. So, see you later, man. Have a very good day. I'll see you later, man. Bye-bye. So it's always a good thing to pre-dial, you know, the next radio station. So you won't have to, it will save you a lot of time, you know. So 8 is for instance, would be, I'm having a look here and Sky, what's it called? VPilot 125.025. 125.025. This is for us just to get the radius. So let's listen into that.
RFOUR notices to air missions, no clearance required to cross
Bye,
runway
man.
30 left. This would be aggregated information. India.
And the first station we'll be talking to will be 118.3.
Wind 3309. Calvo K. Temperature 23, 2.5. QNH 1023 head to passport. Trend, no significant changes. Transition level 110. Expect ILS approach. Runway 30 right in use.
Transition level 110.
RFOUR
performance
notices
page.
to air missions, no clearance required to cross runway 30 left.
Transition level
This would be
110.
updated information. India. The aggregated information India 1530 Zulu. Wind 3309. Calvo K. Temperature 23, 2.5. QNH 1023 head to passport. Trend, no significant changes. Transition level 110.
Okay, cool.
Expect ILS approach. Runway 30.
Right, and then we can put this back.
We are clear for push and start station.
Ages.
This QNH 1023. Air Serbia 65 Bravo.
Right, so we're back to 122.8, so we're back to Unicom. But it does help, like, at some point we'll get a message from Belgrade saying contact me on 118.3, and then we can just switch it over and we're there. So that can really help. And let's also see that ground, I don't think they have anything else up there. Oh, they have tower as well, 118.1.
Destination, yeah, 532 next departure, and 6000 for 5221.
So listening in ground, should actually listen in with the tower, I think. There's also approach, 133.1, whoops. Okay, I'm really making mess of it. What is it? Approach 133.1, and after that will be ground 118. No, there will be tower at 118.1. So I want to keep tower 118.1. This one I want to keep. Then I want to approach 133.1. So 133. Might be going a little bit fast because I'm not making full stand, just a standby. And I'll explain what I'm doing. So 133.1. At some point they will contact us, please contact me, and that will probably be the Belgrade approach, and that is at 133.1. So this is pretty much cleared out, but I'll just put it in there anyway. So we're actually not on Unicom, so hopefully they do not get upset with us. Let's see, do we have our guard frequency up? Yes, 121.5. Now in the Airbus, when the top of descent comes, we should actually start descending ourselves. So we'll just do an open descent. Top of descent, 13 miles. Maybe actually now is a good time to start the sky dolly and to start recording so that we can later make a landing replay video. Because I've been trying to make landing replay videos of almost all the landings that I stream, which is just super cool. You know, it's fun to do and it's fun to look back to see from different angles. Sometimes there are long videos, slightly longer, like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Sometimes they're really short. Sometimes there will be voice, like my voice, like straight from the stream. And sometimes it will just be the aircraft audio, you know. Whatever, I do whatever I feel like, whatever I think is nice, as long as it looks okay, you know. It should look like we're spotting aircraft or whatever. It's just a short little movie showing us the landing. And yeah, it's been a while since I've flown the Airbus A320. It is ultimately actually a relatively easy aircraft in the simulator, I must say, to fly. But my brain has pretty much been used now to the Boeing, and the Boeing, yeah, so my brain is sort of like thinking in Boeing terms. Let's get back to the flight deck and see where our top of descent is, because I think we might be getting a little late now. And here is a request to contact, so we're late, so let's start descending. So we do open descent, that's not doing it. Yeah, so let's contact. Stand by 1 second. V-pilot. Contact me 130.55. That is Adria radar, 133. 130.55.
Radar Zana 3 Juliet Charlie, approach runway LNP, runway 35.
With a 93 Juliet Charlie, runway 35, clear land winds 310 degrees at 12.
Runway 35, clear to land, Zana 3 Juliet Charlie.
Radar Wizz Air 812, we are altitude 370, flight level 370, 20 miles from BABIT.
There are 2 stations.
Wizz 812, flight level 370, we are 20 nautical miles from BABIT, request descent.
With 812 are the radar towers, should identified, clear RIGMU 2 Charlie, arrival, stand by level 220.
Descent 220, Wizz Air 812.
With 812 direct Papa Alpha, continue down for level 160.
Direct Papa Alpha, descent, flight over 160 with 812. We need more direct. So direct to Papa Alpha. Doesn't look like there's a Papa Alpha in our
calling say airport
flight plan. Let's see.
Dirana. With Motor 9 at 74, the radar, stand by Quebec.
Radar Wizz 812, we do not have Papa Alpha in our flight plan. Can we get vectors?
Well, Papa Alpha is on the RIGMU 2 Charlie arrival, so please check the arrival, should be there.
I do have India Alpha.
RIGMU 2 Charlie is on the RIGMU, it's Papa Alpha is on the RIGMU 2 Charlie arrival. You have the latest error to confirm?
My bad, I have the RIGMU, I'm set up for RIGMU 2 Alpha, my apologies. Is that okay as well? Otherwise we'll change.
Negative, cleared your RIGMU 2 Charlie arrival, direct Papa Alpha, descent level 160.
RIGMU 2 Charlie, direct to Papa Alpha, flight level 160 with 812, thank you.
Austrian 61, monitor advisory 122, destination line.
Okay, that kind of sucks. At the very last moment.
616.
Advice 46, monitor advisory 122,
Arrival.
to do that flight, advice 50. Alright. Qatari 1315 identified.
Advice 403 Yankee, request taxi at Pristina. Is Bravo 2 also approved for heavy aircraft?
Arterial radar, EZ25.
Invalid delete. So I'm panicking a little bit now. One to the right, we have that.
Stand by. Ivory 8 Tango Delta, welcome Pristina. Taxi Bravo 1, stand 201 Alpha.
Let's first descend 160.
Ivory 8 Tango Delta, taxi Bravo 1, 2 stand 201 Alpha.
Radar Transavia 480 ready to taxi.
Traffic, stand by, please. People calling and I need to respond to them. Advise 430 Yankee Heavy, taxi Bravo 2, holding point 8, report reaching.
Taxi Bravo 2, report 35, report and reaching, advise 403 Yankee, and this is approved for heavy Bravo 2?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's approved.
Okay, roger that. It's important for the reload.
Agent 7 Tango India on 835, Airline with 3103 at top.
Airline 35, Agent 7 Tango India.
And Transavia 8, excursion 480, taxi on point Charlie, runway 35, report reaching.
This is not working the way I want.
Runway 35, Transavia 482, report when ready for departure.
With the 812 contact Belgrade radar 133.1, bye-bye.
Radar 133.1, bye-bye.
Easy 25 Bravo Delta, radar, Silver Bridge Squawk 6232.
Okay, approach Wizz 812 with you, flight level 220. We're supposed to be the RIGMU 2 Charlie, but we're trying to set up in our FMC that's not going correctly. Do you have vectors in the meantime for us?
Wizz 812 Belgrade, Delta Burton, identified, confirm requesting radar vectors, or do you need a delay only?
Please do vectors for now for Wizz 812, thank you.
Roger, Wizz 812, turn left heading 110 and continue descent to flight level 160.
Left 110, continue descent 160 Wizz 812.
And Wizz 812, it will be radar vectors file runway 30 right, expect 15 track miles.
Please repeat for Wizz 812.
Wizz 812, it will be radar vectors file runway 30 right and expect 15 track miles until touchdown.
Radar vectors for 30 right, Wizz 812. So a lot of things are changing here. That is very uncomfortable. Oh my god. I might give up because I'm panicking. Alright, so let's see. Left heading 110, let's do that first. So 30 right. I think we don't have 30 right in my simulator. Oh, we'll see that. Let's 30 right, and then we got the RIGMU. Let's see.
Wizz 812, continue descent to flight level 120.
Descend 120 Wizz 812. Alright, so we have a new approach.
Actually, Wizz 812, stop descent at flight level 140, is still quite far away.
Stop descent at flight level 140. speed brakes are still out, so I think this is okay.
The 812, turn right, heading 120.
Right heading 120 with 812. Yeah, so it looks like we're just getting vectors then. And then at the last moment we'll just turn on the localizer. Let's turn on the landing system, 109.9, to quickly see if that is correct. So we're now getting runway 30 right, put a pin in there. 109.9, that's 297. Speed brake still out, okay, so let's retract the speed brake. So turn on the seatbelt sign. And also turn on the APU. Yeah, so this kind of stuff is always funny. You're expecting a certain runway and then all of a sudden you have to change, and this would go a little bit easier for me in the Boeing, but at the same time the change is always is never welcome, I must say. Alright, so we go to the fix page and we delete. Can we just clear it like this? Okay. And the next page, we clear that as well. So we got LYBE 30 right. Nine knots come out from Belgrade VOR. Okay, I'll take it. Should be 117, alright? Let me quickly double check. 117. Performance page, is this confirming final approach, 10 right, and let's do the radio altitude or the transition altitude. I can't speak. Let's see. The decision altitude. I'm gonna go for 152. So that was a bit nerve-wracking. Now, the situation is as follows. I'm using a custom scenery for this airport that does have 30 right, but there is actually blocks that you cannot drive through.
Radar, good evening.
We're going to do it anyway.
330, departing 30
because I do not want to further disrupt.
For Val 3 Juliet, 200 on Bravo Echo 403.
With the 330 Belgrade radar, good day, identified climb to flight level 200 unrestricted.
Free climbing, flight level 200 with the rate 330.
With the 330, clear direct to Webar.
Clear direct to Webar with the rate 330.
With the rate 12, continue descent to 7,000 feet, QNH 1023.
Descent 7,000, QNH 1023 with 812. And this with 812, can we expect the factors all the way to the localizer, please?
Affirm.
Thank you. Well, that's nice. So we're just getting factors now. That's greatly going to help us. Oh man, this stuff gets me so nervous. But that's cool. And you know, we were talking with Lego earlier, FPS Lego, about gaining some courage to go online, to fly on the VATSIM network. And these types of situations, I'm always scared of. But again, it's nice to challenge yourself because that's the way to grow. You know what I mean? So in this case, we have a very friendly controller who is saying, I'm going to vector you all the way to the runway, so that's very nice. It's giving us a little bit of time and space. We're doing the workload for 2 pilots, doing only by our...
Belgrade radar, dobar dan. Serbia 65 Bravo.
Serbia 65 Bravo, Belgrade radar, dobar dan. Identified, climb to flight level 200 unrestricted.
I'm going to turn on the landing lights just to...
Serbia 65 Bravo.
So we don't have to do that later, so we can keep on focusing on some other things. And this I really, really despise in Flight Simulator. I don't matter which one it is. Okay, so we have our landing lights all on. So basically we're just getting vectors, so we're just going left, right, and they're just vectoring, and they're just giving us altitude clearances. So QNH 1023. So let's set it right now. 1023. 1023. Let's also go to the fix page and have a fix for 15 nautical miles, LYBE 30 right. Radio 117 and 15 nautical miles. So we'll have a bunch of range links. So we sort of now don't have to do any calculations. We can just see once we are like outside of this area, this blue, outer blue line, then we know we're 50 nautical miles.
65 Bravo, clear direct to Tuvar.
Clear direct to Tuvar, Serbia 65 Bravo.
With the 812, continue descent to 4,000 feet.
4,000 feet with our 812.
With the 8330, no further ATC monitoring, come 122 decimal 8, goodbye.
13 come 122 decimal 8, goodbye and thanks for your service.
So we're in heading mode, 81, 1FD2, flight directors are on both sides, we have a radio altitude 152. We're going to open descent to altitude 4,000 feet, we are at local QNH 1023. We've also entered this data in the performance page. 1023, temperature 23, wind 330 at 9ers, condition 110, we're already there. We're doing a flap full landing, radio altitude 152 for ILS 30 right.
Serbia 65 Bravo, no further ATC monitor Unicom 122 decimal 8, ciao.
Switching to Unicom, Air Serbia 65 Bravo, hvala puno, prijetno.
Prijetno.
So exciting time. We're flying to Belgrade again, finally. We flew to Belgrade to deliver some mayonnaise about a month ago. And after that there was some sort of a gap. but Belgrade is a special place in my heart. Anything else we need to do? Setting up. You do not have to arm the ground spoilers just yet. Our speed is still 250. We're descending to 4,000 feet.
With the 812, continue descent to 3,100 feet.
3,100 feet with the 812. I must say I do like getting vectored as well. It's pretty nice. Let's have a look at the chart real quick. 430 right. The localizer will be at start, or the glide slope will start at Zuli. And Zuli 3,100 feet, so we're basically getting vectors. Oh, you can see us right here as well. It's looking good, so keep it up.
With the 812, turn right, heading 210 vectors for base.
Turn right heading, repeat please, with the 812.
With the 812, turn right, heading 210.
Right heading 210 with 812. So you can see now we're outside the 15 mile range link.
Radar Austin 398 Charlie 3,000 feet.
Austin 398 Charlie, Belgrade radar to Barden, identified, climb to flight level 200, unrestricted.
Flight level 200, unrestricted, Austin 398 Charlie.
Gidzenko.
With the 812, reduce speed to 210 knots.
210 knots with the 812. I'm so glad he's telling us to reduce our speed because we're going so fast. Test some speed brakes out as well, so let's see if we can do this a little bit faster. Flaps 1. Speed brake in.
Austin 398 Charlie, turn right heading 030.
Right 030 Austin 398 Charlie.
Is there 812, turn right heading 260, cleared ILS, runway 30 right, report ILS established.
Turn right 260, report established, 30 right with 812. Let's arm the localizer. Localizer's armed in blue. We turned on all the lights. APU is running.
039 Charlie, clear direct to BABIT.
Clear direct to BABIT, Austin 39 Charlie.
Wizz 812, establish localizer 30 right.
Wizz 812, roger, contact tower 118.1, goodbye.
118.1, hvala puno, prijatno.
Prijatno.
118 shit, 118.1. These are time killers. 118.1, da-di-da-di-da-di-dum. Belgrade Tower, Wizz 812 on localizer 30 right.
Wizz 812, dobra, Belgrade Tower, runway 30 right, clear to land, wind 330 degrees, 9 knots.
Clear to land, 30 right, Wizz 812. We're captured by the glide slope, that is very good. Let's turn on AP1 and AP2. Activate approach, confirm. Drop the gear. Because it doesn't like us extending our flaps quite yet. Cabin crew, take your seats for landing. Arm the ground spoilers. Man, this is nerve-wracking. So right now we're just freestyling really. Do not have DME on the ILS for some reason. $1,000 feet, so we're going really fast. What's our approach speed? 131.
Fire over Serbia 18, Bravo with you in Alpha.
Serbia 1 Bravo, Brand, Belgrade Tower, continue taxi.
Continue taxi 1
we're going way too fast.
Iberia 787 on holding point of runway 30 right, ready for departure.
India Bravo 787, the Brand, Belgrade Tower.
Above. Shit. Click it, man. Autopilot off.
Minimum 100.
Glide slow.
Idle.
Glide slow.
See what I mean?
Iberia, correction, India Bravo 787, runway 30 right, line up and wait.
Touchdown.
Line up and wait, Iberia 787.
Welcome to Belgrade, everybody. Full revert. Keep it rolling, please. Flaps up. Right, we did touch down on a runway that we're not supposed to touch down on. I'll see if there's an update because fortunately we can just drive through this without crashing, actually, I think.
Wizz 812 taxi via runway 30 left, Delta 3, hold short of Alpha.
Please repeat for Wizz 812, thank you.
Wizz 812 taxi via runway 30 left, Delta 3, hold short of Alpha.
30 left, Delta 3, hold short of Alpha, Wizz 812. See if you can drive.
Iberia, correction, India Bravo 787, runway 30 right, clear for takeoff, wind 330 degrees, 9 left.
Hopefully we can just drive through these.
Clear for takeoff, Iberia 787.
Oh, look at that.
Serbia 1 and Bravo, fully ready, 30 right.
Serbia 1-8 Bravo, roger, runway 30 right, in sequence, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, sequence Serbia 1 and Bravo.
Wizz 1, correction, Wizz 812, contact ground 118.3.
Ground 118.3, thank you, hvala puno, prijatno.
Prijatno, sve najbolje.
118.3. Well, maybe it's time for us to disconnect. 118.3, because we cannot get past this. Well, Belgrade ground with our 812, it looks like we are stuck on our between two runways because we're using scenery that we cannot cross. So probably it's best for us to disconnect. I'm not sure about what you guys are thinking, but we cannot drive over this. So I'll see if there is an upgrade to this airport, because yeah, the airport that I'm using, this runway is actually not in use. So let's not disrupt any further and disconnect. Belgrade ground, we're going to disconnect, but thank you very much for your services. Hvala puno, prijatno. See you, bye-bye. Let's disconnect right now. Alright, so at least we're not bothering anyone anymore. And you know what, let's, it's fun, let's have the aircraft here, and we'll just call it a flight. At least we landed. It was a little bit messy, I must say. So maybe it's also a good reason to keep on flying the Airbus as well, not to forget how to operate it. Otherwise it's going to be very embarrassing. But at least it looked like we made it sort of in one piece, but now here we are in a very awkward position. The aircraft simply does not want to drive over this. We could actually have a try, maybe just for fun, see what's going to happen, but we might crash. No, it doesn't want to. A poor aircraft, no, you don't have to fly. Okay, so that's it then. I would like to thank you very much for checking, everybody. It's much appreciated. FPS logo and SIMNOOB, thank you very much for your kind words and for the engagement. Always appreciated. Hope you do fine, SIMNOOB, with the new flight sim that you're going to purchase. And FPS Lego have lots of fun flying on the VATSIM. And hopefully this video might help you a little bit what to do and what not to do. So yeah, but thank you everybody for checking, and I will see you at the next video. I'm your personal funky sim pilot. Everybody stay funky. Bye bye.